Konnichiwa and welcome back to Chrono Reviews. It's time for yet another dinosaur toy review from Jurassic World, and this time it's the Dino Rivals Savage Strike Velociraptor, and this time it's one of those with the jumping action, and it's actually my first one of the jumping action since I didn't get the jumping action blue or the multi-pack with one of those jumping raptors in it. I think there are two multi-packs actually, one with a brown one and one with a green one that looks very much like how Delta is supposed to look, not like they ended up doing the attack pack version. And the fun thing is that this one was previewed with the Jurassic Park free paint color, the color scheme for the Legacy collection, but it was never released that way. It was released regularly with a new paint job, but you can see the sculpture here with the quills and the raised crests here. That is supposed to be a JP free design, and I really hope that they do release one in that color scheme. But since my local store suddenly had a batch of the Dino Rivals Savage Strikes, I actually liked this new paint scheme as well when I saw it, because it looks quite natural and it blends very well as a raptor. So this one looks really good as a generic male raptor actually, but yellowish color with darker stripes are, well, as I've said before, one of my favorite types of raptor colorations throughout the JP franchise. And the package, just like anything else, looks gorgeous with the red coloration and the logo in background and everything. So I'm not going to go into detail because I always done that, so you can see with your own eyes. And you show here, they show that it can jump, and I will test that. Well, actually I've already tested my friend's blue, but I will show you how this works on screen, I guess. And on the background I said, on the back side, you can see that it also has the Jurassic Facts app, and you press it down and it jumps. And there you can see it have red on the leg, some red dots on the leg that they did not do in the final paint job. I've heard some fans complain about it. I don't think it necessarily need those red spots, but it sure looks cool. But as we know by now, they change things from the preview images into the real ones. You can also see the stat card here that includes one of those collective cards. And you can see other things you can get there. So there is the blue and the Pachycephalosaurus and the Dilophosaurus and also the Dimetrodon. I think I will get one of those eventually, but I'm not sure when. And here we have it, the Savage Strike Velociraptor with the jumping action or jumping attack or whatever you want to call it out of its package. And I must say I really like this color scheme. It looks very natural, as well as it looks very much like a good male Velociraptor due to the red paint job on the nose. And I think the paint and sculpture in general on this one are great. Since it's my first jumping raptor, it's my first time reviewing this sculpt as a whole. I know it was blue from the start, and then there was repaints with the same head sculpture as blue. And this head sculpture is actually very nice. I'd like to see it on a few more figures, especially since the JP3 female was released together with Grant. While it still have a very lackluster paint job, I admit that, but it's still nice that it was released, and that's why we need the JP3 males as well, in some shape or form. Preferably the slashing action version, like blue, but as long as we get one. But now back into this one. This one, let's get started with the Facts app and the card before I forget to show them off. So here you have the Jurassic Facts app if you want to scan this raptor. And here you have the card. I like this art a little bit better than the one that came with blue. And the stats usually, as usual, do not make that much sense. Intelligence does, but the others not so much. Well, speed does too, but well, this one is a little bit better on the strength, but in general a good collective card, but nothing too fancy. And as far as the paint job goes, it's simple, but it's effective and I like it. There's a little bit difference in the tone of mustard color on the body and the legs. So the main body, The arms, legs, head and tail have a slightly different tint to it, but it works. And the dark grey stripes works very nicely. Maybe they should have painted the quills in a different color, but otherwise it's quite neat. And while it lacks the paint on the fingernails as usual, the claws are nicely painted in a really dark grey or blackish color, and that looks great too. The eyes might be a little lackluster in the contrast department because they're greenish, bluish, grayish in a very desaturated color. Maybe they should be a little bit stronger color like the raptor eyes usually are, but considering it's quite strong in its color in general, it doesn't bug me that much. It's just a small nitpick. And when it comes to the mouth, just like with blue, there are some mistakes on the teeth, on the lower jaw. They are a little bit bleeding over into the tongue, and there's a little bit paint missing on the cheek skin there. But otherwise, it's okay. It's still a toy, so I'm not going as harsh as with action figures, but they could have done a better quality control on the paint job in the jaw. So now let's try out. Let's put the camera a little bit further away, just because I'm going to try to make this one jump now. And I know it's a little bit hard to actually make it do what you want it to do, because it's not a very reliable action feature if I have to be completely honest. So if you push it down like this, sometimes it just does like that, it jumps straight upwards, or just stumbles around, or it jumps. Sometimes it just jumps upwards, sometimes just trips over itself. I haven't figured out a certain... There it flew a little bit forward. Let's try to do it again. I haven't figured out a certain way to do it to make it guarantee a nice flight. Yeah, you see what I get it. The point. It's not reliable. The action feature is very, very, very lackluster, but still it's very funny. Yeah. I guess kids could get hang of it if they really want to. And as far as the size goes with this Raptor, it is pretty much as any other Mattel Raptor. So let's take Dr. Grant this time, because this one is supposedly a JP3 Raptor from the start. And it's pretty much the same size as Blue. So let's just also get the Savage Strike Blue in here. So they're about the same height and everything. The only thing with the sculpture on this one that looks a little bit weird is the huge feet, but I can see the point in it, because it needs to have a broad landing surface to make the jumping action work, but at the same time it always falls over when it lands, so you could just have had the same feet size as the attack packs. But I'm not going to nitpick on it. I know why they did it, and they are excused for that part. And that's why I didn't get one of those from the start with Blue, simply because I didn't really like the big feet, but seeing it in person when I looked at my friend's Blue, it was totally okay. So I'm okay with it. I might get the tiger striped legacy one or something if I want more of those, because it's the Lost World Raptor. I love the Lost World Raptors. But if anything, for the colors and the fresh head sculpt, not just a repaint for once, it's a fresh head sculpt, and that I like that. So for that reason alone, the paint colors and the new head makes this one worth getting. So action feature, I prefer the slicing action, the slashing action with Blue a lot more. I know they released the Jumping Blue in a single package as well as Savage Strike. You don't need to get the story pack with Owen anymore. But the slashing action are a more reliable and more spot-on action feature. But the jumping action, I give them a lot of credit for doing something new, because it's not a copy-paste of something that Kenner have already done, and it's something new compared to other action features. Sure, this one is not exactly new, because the feature has been around for over a year, since Blue were released together with Owen in that story pack. So the feature is not new, they have repainted this sculpture over and over as well, but the new head sculpt are new. But in general, I'm speaking in general, having a jumping feature on a Raptor or something new for Mattel, and not anything they have taken from Kenner or Hasbro. So great credit for that. So I can highly recommend this Raptor. Regardless of the flaws, I recommend it. So I hope you enjoyed the review, and until next time, take care and sayonara.